Hello everyone. Today we're traveling back to 19th century America, a time of great intellectual and spiritual ferment. We'll meet a man who stood at the heart of this awakening. His name, Ralph Waldo Emerson. Born in Boston in 1803, Emerson's life and work were deeply shaped by his New England roots. Imagine a world on the cusp of change. The Industrial Revolution was transforming society, challenging old ways of thinking. In this era of upheaval, a new generation of thinkers emerged, seeking answers beyond the confines of traditional religion and philosophy. These were the Transcendentalists, and Emerson would become their leading voice. They believed in the inherent goodness of humanity and the divine spark within each of us. They celebrated the power of intuition, the importance of individual experience, and the profound connection between humanity and nature. Emerson, a Harvard-educated man, initially followed in his father's footsteps as a Unitarian minister, but his heart yearned for something more. He questioned traditional doctrines, feeling constrained by their limitations. His search for a more authentic spiritual path led him to resign from the ministry and embark on a new journey, one that would forever change the landscape of American thought. In 1832, Emerson made a pivotal decision. He set sail for Europe, eager to engage with the leading minds of his time. He met with literary giants like Wordsworth, Coleridge, and Carlyle. These encounters ignited his imagination, fueling his desire to forge a new path for American intellectual life. Upon his return to America, Emerson settled in Concord, Massachusetts, a town destined to become synonymous with the Transcendentalist movement. He transformed his personal journals into powerful essays and lectures, capturing the spirit of his age. His words resonated with a generation hungry for meaning and authenticity. Emerson's writings were revolutionary. He challenged the prevailing intellectual climate, urging his fellow Americans to cast off the shackles of conformity and embrace their own inner truth. He called for a radical self-reliance, a rejection of blind adherence to tradition and external authority. Trust thyself, he implored. Every heart vibrates to that iron string. Emerson's message struck a chord. His essays, including the iconic Self-Reliance and Nature, became anthems for a nation yearning for self-discovery. He encouraged individuals to look inward, to trust their intuition, and to forge their own paths in the world. At the heart of Emerson's philosophy lay a profound reverence for nature. He believed that the natural world was not merely a resource to be exploited, but a source of deep spiritual nourishment. In the woods, we return to reason and faith, he wrote. He saw in nature a reflection of the divine, a manifestation of what he called the Oversoul, a universal spirit connecting all living things. Emerson's ideas resonated with a growing movement of individuals disillusioned by the rapid industrialization and urbanization of American society. They longed for a simpler, more authentic way of life, one in tune with nature and guided by their own inner compass. Emerson's influence extended far beyond the realm of philosophy. His writings inspired generations of artists, writers, and activists. His call for social justice, particularly his outspoken opposition to slavery, helped shape the moral conscience of a nation on the brink of civil war. In the annals of American thought, Few essays have had the impact of Emerson's Self-Reliance, a clarion call for individual authenticity, published in 1840. Imagine a young nation still finding its footing, grappling with its identity in a world dominated by European traditions. Emerson challenged this subservience, urging his fellow Americans to break free from the shackles of conformity and embrace their own unique genius. Envy is ignorance, he declared. Imitation is suicide. He believed that each individual possessed within them a spark of the divine, a wellspring of creativity and wisdom waiting to be tapped. But to access this inner truth, one had to cultivate the courage to think for oneself, to trust one's intuitions, even in the face of societal pressures to conform. Emerson wasn't advocating for reckless individualism or a disregard for social responsibility. He recognized the importance of community, of shared values and aspirations. But he also understood the dangers of blind obedience, of surrendering one's moral compass to the dictates of the crowd. True self-reliance for Emerson meant aligning oneself with a higher purpose, with the dictates of one's own conscience and the promptings of the Oversoul. It meant living a life true to one's own values, even when those values challenged the status quo. This message resonated deeply with a nation on the cusp of great change. The abolitionist movement was gaining momentum, challenging the deeply entrenched institution of slavery. Women were demanding greater rights and opportunities. Emerson's masterpiece, Nature, published in 1836, stands as a cornerstone of American transcendentalism. Emerson invites us to step into the embrace of the natural world for profound spiritual renewal. Imagine standing on the edge of a forest, sunlight filtering through the canopy, the air alive with birdsong. Emerson believed these moments reveal a deeper truth, connecting us to something greater. Nature, for Emerson, was a living testament to the divine. He urged us to approach nature with childlike wonder, opening our senses to its beauty. In the rustling leaves and murmuring streams, Emerson heard a universal language. By immersing ourselves in nature, we access a deeper understanding and peace. Emerson's profound connection to nature led him to develop a concept he called the transparent eyeball. Imagine for a moment that your sense of self could dissolve, that the boundaries between you and the world around you could become permeable. This, Emerson believed, was the experience of becoming one with nature, of transcending the limitations of our ego and merging with the universal flow of life. He described this state of being as a sense of universal being, a feeling of interconnectedness with all creation. In those moments, he argued, we are no longer separate observers of the natural world, but active participants in its symphony of life. This concept might seem abstract or even mystical, but for Emerson, it was a tangible experience, one that he sought out through solitary walks in the woods, through moments of quiet contemplation, through the act of writing itself. He believed that by cultivating this sense of transparency, we could tap into a wellspring of creativity and insight, that we could access a deeper level of truth and wisdom that was otherwise unavailable to us. The transparent eyeball, then, represents a state of heightened awareness, a willingness to let go of our preconceived notions and embrace the world with open arms and an open heart. Emerson's writings were more than just philosophical musings. They were calls to action, invitations to live more deliberately, more authentically, more in tune with our own inner compass and the rhythms of the natural world. His words challenged complacency, urging readers to question the status quo, to resist conformity, and to blaze their own trails through the wilderness of life. Do not go where the path may lead, he implored. Go instead where there is no path and leave a trail. He believed that each individual had a unique role to play in the grand tapestry of life, that each voice was essential to the chorus of humanity. He challenged his readers to embrace their individuality, to cultivate their talents, and to use their gifts to make a positive impact on the world around them. Emerson's legacy lives on not just in his written words, but in the countless lives he touched and continues to touch through his timeless message of self-reliance, his deep reverence for nature, and his unwavering belief in the potential of the human spirit. His writings remain as relevant today as they were in his own time, offering guidance and inspiration for anyone seeking to live a more meaningful and fulfilling life. Emerson's emphasis on individualism wasn't a call to isolation or anarchy. He recognized the importance of society, of shared values and collective endeavors. A society was only as strong as the individuals who comprised it. Imagine a garden filled with a variety of flowers, each contributing its unique beauty. This was Emerson's vision of a thriving society, a tapestry woven from individual expression. True progress arose from the clash of ideas, from individuals challenging conventional wisdom and forging new paths. A society that stifled individuality risked stagnation and decay. Emerson believed in a dynamic tension between belonging and self-expression. Engage in society, contribute to the common good, but maintain your unique vision. Emerson understood that the path of nonconformity was not without its challenges. He knew that those who dared to defy convention often faced criticism, ridicule, even ostracism. Imagine the weight of societal expectations, the fear of judgment, the longing for approval. Emerson believed the price of conformity was far greater than the discomfort of nonconformity. Society everywhere is in conspiracy against the manhood of every one of its members, Emerson wrote. True growth came from embracing one's uniqueness, even if it meant standing alone. Whoso would be a man, he declared, must be a nonconformist. At the core of Emerson's philosophy lay a profound belief in the inherent goodness and divinity of humanity. He rejected the Calvinist doctrine of original sin, which painted humanity as inherently flawed and dependent on divine grace for salvation. Instead, Emerson embraced a more optimistic view, seeing in each individual a spark of the divine, a reflection of the Oversoul, that universal spirit that connected all living things. Imagine a vast ocean, each wave a distinct entity, yet all connected to the same source. This was Emerson's vision of humanity, each person a unique expression of the divine, interconnected yet distinct, capable of both great love and profound wisdom. The highest reveals of truth and of right. Are we? He wrote. There is present to all men an Oversoul, within which every man's particular being is contained and made one with all other. This belief in the inherent divinity of humanity had profound implications for Emerson's philosophy. It meant that each individual possessed within them the potential for greatness, the capacity for both intellectual and spiritual growth. It also meant that true self-reliance wasn't about egotism or self-aggrandizement, It was about aligning oneself with this divine spark, about allowing the Oversoul to flow through one's thoughts and actions. Emerson placed great emphasis on the role of intuition in guiding one's actions and decisions. He believed that each individual possessed an inner compass, a source of wisdom and guidance that transcended the limitations of reason and logic. Imagine a whisper in the silence, a gentle nudge in the right direction, a feeling of deep knowing that defies rational explanation. This was Emerson's understanding of intuition, a subtle yet powerful force that could lead individuals towards truth and fulfillment. He argued that while reason and logic were essential tools for navigating the practicalities of life, they were insufficient for accessing deeper truths or making decisions that aligned with one's soul's purpose. "Trust your instinct to the end," he wrote, "though you can render no reason. Do not be afraid to be thought an eccentric." Emerson believed that intuition was a faculty that could be cultivated through practices like solitude, contemplation, and immersion in nature. He argued that by quieting the chatter of the external world and turning inward, individuals could learn to hear the whispers of their own inner wisdom. This emphasis on intuition wasn't a rejection of reason. It was an acknowledgement of the limitations of logic and a call to embrace the fullness of human experience, including the realm of intuition and feeling. Emerson's love for nature ran deep. He saw it not merely as a source of beauty, but as a teacher and a reflection of the divine. He believed that nature spoke a language that revealed profound truths about ourselves and the universe. "In the woods, we return to reason and faith," he wrote, suggesting that nature had the power to restore our sense of balance and reconnect us to our inner wisdom. Ralph Waldo Emerson wasn't just a philosopher. He was a literary force who ignited a revolution in American literature. Before Emerson, American writing often imitated European styles and themes. Emerson urged his fellow writers to find their voices in the experiences of their own land and people. He encouraged writers to break free from tradition, to experiment with language and form, and to explore the full spectrum of human experience with honesty and courage. His influence can be seen in the works of contemporaries like Thoreau, Hawthorne, and Whitman. Emerson's ideas resonated with thinkers and reformers, sparking dialogues and movements for a more just society. Henry David Thoreau, inspired by Emerson's call for self-reliance, embarked on his experiment at Walden Pond. Thoreau's Walden reflects Emersonian themes of self-reliance, the transformative power of nature, and nonconformity. Thoreau's essay, Civil Disobedience, influenced by Emerson, is a powerful indictment of unjust laws. Thoreau's writings amplify Emerson's ideas, given new life through Thoreau's unique voice and experiences. Emerson's legacy extends far beyond literature and philosophy. His ideas about individuality and questioning authority have inspired generations to challenge the status quo. From abolition to civil rights, Emerson's ideas about individual conscience and dissent have fueled social change. His legacy of nonconformity is about living in alignment with one's values and advocating for a better world. Ralph Waldo Emerson's influence on the American spirit is undeniable. His ideas are woven into the fabric of American identity, shaping our national character. Emerson's belief in self-reliance, nonconformity, and reverence for nature has inspired generations. His words continue to inspire us to live authentically and work towards a more just society. Emerson's life was a testament to the principles he espoused. He embraced a life of purpose, driven by a moral compass towards justice and truth. Emerson was an active participant in social and political discourse, advocating for causes he believed in. He understood that true fulfillment came from aligning oneself with a higher purpose and serving others. Emerson's commitment to social justice was unwavering, especially in his opposition to slavery. For Emerson, slavery was a moral abomination, counter to the principles of freedom and equality. He joined abolitionists, using his platform to denounce slavery. Emerson faced criticism, but believed in the inherent worth and dignity of every human being. True patriotism for Emerson was about holding the nation accountable to its highest ideals. Emerson's intellectual curiosity led him to Europe, where he engaged with literary and philosophical giants. His travels exposed him to new ideas and perspectives, shaping his own thinking. Emerson returned to America energized, determined to create a distinctly American literature and philosophy. He sought to draw inspiration from European traditions while rooting his work in American experiences. Emerson's ideas continue to resonate across the centuries. His ability to articulate timeless human concerns offers insights that resonate today. Emerson's impact on American thought and literature is undeniable, inspiring generations of writers. His ideas about self-reliance, nonconformity, and individual conscience shape our national character. In our modern age, Emerson's message of self-reliance and nonconformity rings truer than ever. He reminds us that true fulfillment comes from aligning with our inner compass and connecting with nature. Emerson's call to engage with the natural world is a timely reminder of its importance. His legacy is about engaging with the world meaningfully and advocating for a just society. As we conclude our exploration of Emerson, let's reflect on incorporating his wisdom into our lives. Emerson challenges us to trust our intuition, embrace individuality, and strive for a better tomorrow. Let his words guide you on your journey of self-discovery and making your unique mark on the world.